Hello there everybody, it is me XfreezerBunny and welcome back to Hogwarts. So today we are starting the monumental undertaking of furnishing this epic build, and we are also seeing some crafting for the very first time. So as you can see, we are in Ukras, and as I explained in the previous episode, I will be doing a lot of crafting on this lot because the lot that I chose in Windenburg does not have the straight grid, and I need that grid for precision purposes, I guess, because a lot of these prefabricated architectural elements would need to fit in a certain space, and I just didn't want to waste a lot of time and energy on trying to compensate for the not so straight grid that we had in our lot in Windenburg. So here we go. I am working on the trusses that are going to go in the ceiling of the Great Hall, and it's really interesting because the Great Hall itself, I believe, was based off of, if I'm not mistaken, Westminster Hall, which according to one of the production designers has like the best medieval ceiling in the UK, so that's great, I guess. I tried to replicate the shape of the truss here because it's pretty iconic, even though we don't really get to see a lot of it considering it's usually obscured by clouds and candles and then sometimes rain or storm or even snow actually. So I tried to replicate that shape. This version of the truss isn't the final version because I will make some changes to it. I will add some like vertical elements that are missing right here because I didn't pay attention that much to the original design when I did it the first time, so I'll be adding some little things in there. You guys just saw me save them as a room and just plop them on the ceiling of this Great Hall. It's pretty easy. That's why I call it prefabricating, because you get to, you know, just reuse the items whenever you save them in a room, and that technique is actually something that I was inspired by from playing the Planet Zoo and Planet Coaster games, because that franchise has a lot of crafting and I played hundreds, maybe even thousands of hours for those games, so definitely carried over some of those tricks onto The Sims. But yeah, we are now back in our lot here in Windenburg, and as you can see, we are furnishing the Great Hall, starting off with these very famous benches that the students sit on and basically do a lot of stuff. They don't just eat here, if I'm not mistaken, they also kind of like hang out here. I saw some students doing their homework in here, and interesting fact, these benches in the movies were specifically made for the movies, and I believe that the ones they use in the movies are exactly 100 feet long. I might be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure I read it in the Harry Potter from page to screen book, which I have. And funny little Easter egg, if you guys saw the anime room tour I did a couple of months ago, I may have hinted on this series when I showed you guys that book, so you might want to give that video a little bit of a rewatch. But here we are working on the platform that is going to be where the teachers sit and have their meals, overlooking the students of course, and in the very middle is a very prominent seat where the headmaster is supposed to sit as well. And here I'm just adding in some more elaborate pieces for the ceiling and also some supports that are going to keep these torches, I want to say. I don't know what these are called. These are little torches that hang from the ceiling, and I think they're supposed to be held by gargoyles that symbolize the different houses of Hogwarts, but we don't have those, and I wanted the ones that I used here to look a little bit more uniform, so I just ended up using these Corbels from the Vampires pack, which is a pack that I will be using a lot in this build as well. So to make these torches look like they contain fire as they do in the movies, I used this little effect piece that we get from Realm of Magic. You can find it in the bb.show live edit objects category, and it looks pretty cool. It doesn't have any animations, but that doesn't really bother me because it looks like it's fire, and I am more than happy with that. Anyway, we are doing some more crafting. Here we are working on the hourglasses that are supposed to contain the house points. And this is a neat little detail that I actually didn't really notice watching the movies for the first time. These are one of those details that I really only got to appreciate when I decided to recreate Hogwarts. So here we have the house points hourglasses, and as you can see, it looks like Ravenclaw's winning. I didn't know which house to give the most points to, so I just went ahead and gave it to Ravenclaw because I felt like they were kind of like the overachievers anyway, and I feel like Gryffindor is always the underdog, so they get the least number of points for now. But who knows, maybe there'll be a plot twist in the end and Gryffindor ends up winning. This wouldn't be the first time. If you haven't seen the first part, I did reveal that I am a proud member of the Hufflepuff house, so I'm really happy that I can finally talk about that. I have a really special story about me getting sorted in Hogwarts, by the way, so I will be sharing that when we get into the building of the Hufflepuff common room. So yeah, like I said in the previous parts, the common rooms will have their individual episodes, and please look forward to that. The reason for that is because I wanted kind of like the people who only want to see their common rooms to not have to watch the rest of the episodes just to see. But right now we're actually working on some of the most iconic aspects of the Great Hall, and of course these are the floating candles. So as you can see, I was very efficient with how I placed the candles because I did not want to have to raise each one of them individually, so I first put them on the ground level and I just raised groups of them up different levels using the tool mod. That was really helpful, and it definitely saved me a lot of time. And also notice that I also moved those benches aside because the candles kept snapping on them and I wasn't gonna have any of that, so just went ahead and moved them outside and put them back in the Great Hall itself. And the benches are functional except for the far left and right because I think they're too close to the wall. Actually, no, they're not. If you remove the wooden paneling on the wall, the far left and right parts of the benches would be functional, but I ended up putting wood panelings on the wall because I think that was more accurate to the films anyway, so it's your call. They're pretty easy to delete anyway. You can just delete them using the sledgehammer tool. But one interesting note about those candles is that for the first film, and maybe even for the second one, I'm not sure, but definitely for the first film, they used actual candles, which kind of blows my mind because the amount of effort it would probably have taken to keep those candles lit and to move those candles around like they did in the movies was probably monumental because they had like hundreds of candles, right? And all of them were actual candles, they weren't CGI, so it's pretty cool. Also, the set that they used for the Great Hall is the same set that they used all throughout the movies. So apparently the material that they used for the Great Hall was a pretty sturdy material, so it actually survived all 8 films. And I think it's also the one that's still in the Harry Potter Wizarding World tour in London, which I would so love to go to at some point in the future. Is that considered cheesy? Because I would absolutely love to experience it myself and get to see all of the actual sets that they used. Anyway, moving on to the Grand Staircase, this is actually one of my favorite aspects of Hogwarts and also one of the most iconic ones, and interestingly enough, this wasn't actually in the books. or at least the fact that the staircase moved was not in the books. They only did that for the movies, and I really love that detail. I don't know why they didn't stick with it till the final movie, because yep, the staircases just were static staircase, I guess, in the final movie, which I guess makes for a really good arena to have a battle in. But come on, it's the final movie. We want to see some of our favorite parts of Hogwarts. But I guess canonically it would make sense, because technically Hogwarts was taken over by like evil people in the final movie. So maybe they took away the joy and the magic of Hogwarts and made it boring and bland. Either way, I'm actually curious to know what your guys' favorite Harry Potter movie is. For those of you guys who did not see the first part, I am a movies only fan of Harry Potter. I've only really read the first book. I never really got into reading the books myself, but I am really curious to know what your guys' favorite movie is. By the way, the grand staircase area had a ton of paintings, and placing them individually was kind of a pain, not gonna lie. I feel like we also have a lack of traditional, like classical paintings, so I may have reused one or two paintings in the grand staircase, which I really didn't want to, but I was running out of options. Also, that part was really difficult to translate into a good viewing experience for YouTube, because the camera movements was a little bit all over the place, so I had to heavily edit that part out. But yeah, right now we are working on the entrance to the Headmaster's office. Now I did move this area quite a bit, because in the movies the entrance to the Headmaster's office was located somewhere near the Transfiguration classroom in the other side of Hogwarts, which didn't make sense since it was kind of an elevator, and I think they were pretty clear in showing that where it led up to was the Headmaster's office. But you know, it's Hogwarts and you can always get away with the lame excuse of everything being magical, so maybe it was a teleporting thing. But either way, I thought it made more sense to have it here in the central tower area, where the Headmaster's office is going to be located as well, at the very top. But anyway, to wrap up this video, we are working on some of the more iconic bathrooms that we see in Hogwarts, and first of those is of course Moaning Myrtle's bathroom, which is also going to serve as one of the girls' bathroom. There's going to be a couple, and this is one of them. This is definitely the more interesting one in my opinion, because this is a very prominent location in the second film, and spoiler alert, this is the entrance to the Chamber of Secrets. So as you can see, that little sink area in the middle is going to be the entrance to the Chamber of Secrets, and it's going to serve the same purpose in this build as well. So I will put a portal next to that in a little bit, and it should make it so that your Sims can teleport into the Chamber of Secrets. I couldn't put the stairs in there even if I wanted to, because that would have just taken up way too much space, but the Chamber of Secrets should be located directly underneath this, and that is going to appear later on in the series as well, so please keep an eye out for that. Also, I just want to point out that there are also showers. Those two cubicles in the far corner actually contain showers, because I do intend to put bathrooms in this build around the areas where the common rooms are. But I also wanted to include showers, and I thought the best way to include them were just to have them here in the bathrooms. And finally, we are working on the Prefect's bathroom, which in this version of Hogwarts is going to serve as one of the boys' bathroom, because technically we only see the boys' bathroom in the third movie. In the fourth movie, and I really like the fourth movie. I know it's generally considered by a lot of people to be like the worst adaptation, but I actually really enjoyed it. I really loved the world building and also the Triwizard Tournament itself. But anyway, this bathroom is a prominent location in the 4th film, and this is where Harry figures out how to overcome one of the Triwizard challenges, which is to save, one of his friends from being abducted by merpeople. So as you can see, this bathroom has a very prominent octagonal shaped pool, and I thought that was a really neat callback to the girls' bathroom, which has a very prominent octagonal shaped sink area. And apparently, according to the second movie, the snake, the basilisk, moves around in these little tunnels and pipes. So that bath looks like it's the perfect fit for a basilisk, if you ask me. But yeah, we just crafted those taps because apparently this bathroom had a lot of taps, and apparently they spew out different colored water, which is quite interesting. I noticed that in other representations of this room, the bath itself was always depicted as a square bath, but I don't know, I kind of preferred the shape of the bath in the movies. So yeah, let me know how you feel. Also, I don't think I'm gonna keep that stained glass window because I had to layer those windows from Realm of Magic and they kind of glitch out a bit, which I didn't like. So I might change it into just regular windows, which kind of sucks because I really wanted some stained glass, but I couldn't see me using any of the available stained glass windows in game. But right here we are putting in some toilets and also some showers, which are located in the same area as the girls' bathroom as well. But it actually looks like that is going to be it for this build. But before I go, I would like to officially answer my question and officially reveal that my personal favorite Harry Potter film is actually the 3rd film, Prisoner of Azkaban, and I'll probably elaborate on that a little bit more as we get into the series, but that movie just has a really special place in my heart, and it is definitely my favorite Harry Potter film by a long shot. So yeah, as always, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. You all have an awesome day. Enjoy the rest of the video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.